Hey y'all, so we are at the end of the road. This is my review for the last episode of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. This is episode 7. I've enjoyed it. Some people said they didn't like it, but I think this is like a nice little break from the franchises. I love the interactions between all the All-Stars, and I hope they continue this, and I can't wait for season 2. Anywho, let's get into this episode. So they open with Housewives Before Sunset. I love that this show doesn't take itself too seriously, but they don't show any of them before the sunset. We just fast forward right to the 7th day. It's like 10:45. We see Ramona and Melissa playing tennis, and Kyle coming back from her nightcap with her husband, doing a walk of shame of sorts. Kyle, it doesn't make you a floozy, it just makes you a horny housewife. Next, we see Cynthia in the house coming downstairs. She's talking to the staff as they're fixing food. She seemed like she's still in her funk, but today she will be hosting the Bailey Bowl. Let's hope that goes the way that she wants it to. I heard from some of y'all that the reason why she was down a little bit was because she found out that she wasn't returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know. I figured that she found out before they started taping this, so at least it'll be like a going away gift and not just completely kicking her off Bravo. But if you have any tea on that, let me know in the comments. Next, the ladies are going outside for early lunch, and then we see that there's still this big tension between Kenya and Cynthia. Like, Cynthia looked like she organized this lunch, and then Kenya, however this is edited, she just looks like, I don't want this shit at the table. Cynthia, is there a menu? And Cynthia's like, whatever is out is being served right now. And then Kenya's like, I want a burger. Can I get a veggie burger? And then we get to the confessionals. We see Cynthia in her confessional saying she's really hurt by Kenya's behavior. She says she don't mind if she got into it with the other wives. They could go back and forth all day. But with Kenya, it's personal and it hurts. Then we see Kenya saying in her confessional that all this is drama made up by Cynthia. She feels like she didn't do anything wrong. She can't wait till this trip is over so the tension can end. Well, this is going to continue unless y'all just not going to be friends anymore. And I'm really worried about their friendship lasting because they're not on the show together anymore. And Cynthia doesn't even live in Atlanta, so sorry to that friendship. Also, Kenya, I think I'm gonna need you to scoot that lace front down just a smidge, just a smidge. The energy at the table is a little strange. I feel like a little fatigue from everybody. Like, you could tell everybody was ready to go. Like, even Cynthia, she's not even excited about this Bailey Bowl that they're about to do. Like, she's like, yeah, y'all, there's barrels over there. It's going to be real fun, very easy. Like, everybody just feel like they over it and they're ready to go. I thought 7 episodes is definitely enough because if it went over anything else, I think the show would have suffered. So once Cynthia says the prize, though, everybody's ears perk up. So the winner of the whole Bailey Bowl will receive a 4-night stay at a suite in a private resort back in Turks and Caicos. So the first round, there's problems already. The game is where you have to lick a ball of flavored ice until you get the diamond out of it. And you have some people cheating. And Luann, she's competitive. And she's calling out Teresa for cheating because she bit into the ice. And I think Melissa or Kenya did it too. So Cynthia's like, oh, fuck it. Okay, you all get points. Oh, goodness. Round 2 is a twerk off. Fast forward. So in some strange way, Ramona wins this. I think they have like a counter or something that they put on their waist, and that's how Ramona won. I think she was just jerking her back and forth instead of actually like twerking. Okay, I was wrong. Ramona is one of the winners, but Luann and Melissa got a point too. Anyway, on to the next round. So the third round, I don't really know who won, but it gets into a tug-of-war between Luann and Ramona and Melissa and Kenya. And Luann, competitive ass, trying to cheat, almost got into it with Kenya, but Kenya and Melissa won that tug-of-war. So then it's between the two of them. So it's tug-of-war between Kenya and Melissa. Now come on. Kenya won that easily. Yep, and Kenya is the winner of this game, but then she does something really nice. So she gives a vacation package as a gift to Teresa. I think this act of kindness definitely solidified Kenya and Teresa's friendship, and I can see them definitely being friends after this show. We see Kenya in her confessional saying that she hopes this brings some good karma her way. I hope so too, girl. But all the shit you've been pulling for the 10 seasons you've been on Housewives of Atlanta, I mean, the right karma was coming your way. So you being nice on here, maybe a splash of good karma will come your way. So after the game, most of the ladies go back into the house to freshen up. And then we're left with Kyle, Teresa, and Ramona, and they're talking. And I just realized these are like all the OGs that are left on their franchises. I mean, unless Ramona gets fired. But Teresa's just talking about how nice of an act that was from Kenya and just saying that here, she experienced people sticking up for her and she doesn't have that on her show. You are on the Teresa show, seriously. Like the Real Housewives of New Jersey is a Teresa show. For her to say that some people don't have her back on her own show, I mean, what about Dolores? She always had your back, no matter what. And then Margaret used to have your back until you backstabbed her and told Danielle to pull her damn hair. I remember that. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I love how some of the wives have been doing this revisionist history while they're on this show. Oh, so Kyle and Teresa are bonding now, and they're bonding over, both of them losing their parents. And as they're having this touching moment, like Ramona tries to get into the conversation, but she says something a little silly that has nothing to do with what they're talking about. Lord, and here go Ramona telling that same sob story about her upbringing. She's told this story every single season when someone has come to her for her terrible ass behavior. So I'm tired of hearing about it. Fast forward. It looks like Kyle and Teresa are falling for Ramona's fake plea for sympathy, and then they're feeling sorry for her about the other night where Kenya and Luann was flirting with her fake boyfriend. Ramona was like, oh yeah, that hurt me. Like, I just think it was crossing a line, embarrassing me. Ramona, we saw how you act an ass on episode 5 and came for everybody. No, you ain't getting my sympathy. And now it looks like Teresa and Kyle are convincing Ramona to finally have a much needed conversation with Kenya. And Ramona's trying to practice her apology with Kyle right now. If she really has to practice this shows the authenticity in her apology. Like just in the last episode, she said in her confessionals that she don't give a fuck about making amends with Kenya. So next scene, we see a montage of all the ladies packing. I'm guessing they're gonna leave first thing in the morning. I'm sure some of them can't wait. And then we have Ramona again, being Ramona, calling this man the wrong name. This man's been with them for a week, and she still hasn't gotten his name right. She's calling him William when his name is Michael. If that was me, I would have been calling Ramona the wrong name purposely throughout the entire trip. Like, how you doing, Rachel? Oh, how are you doing, Rhonda? Oh, hey, Sonia, how's it going? Yeah, I would have been real petty with it. Next, we see Cynthia in the confessional, and she's very upset with Kenya at this point, and she says going forward, she doesn't know where their friendship is going to be. And she's also mad because, she came in this as a ride or die for Kenya. She came in to make her feel comfortable. And once Kenya turned into Miss Popular, she left Cynthia for dead. Personally, I know some of y'all disagree with me, y'all saying it's all in Cynthia's head. I disagree respectfully. Cynthia says she also feels like Kenya had a hand in changing some of the women's perception on Cynthia. For example, when she told Melissa that Cynthia was jealous, and that caused Melissa to back away from Cynthia. So literally 10 minutes after she says this confessional, she goes up to Kenya's room to try to talk to her. As she's walking to Kenya's room, Cynthia got a donk. That thing is thinging as she walks. It is so funny seeing them in the same scene now compared to episode 1. Like, you would think there were two strangers in episode 7. Like, you can really feel the tension through the TV. So after they both exchange pleasantries, Cynthia tells Kenya that she needs to talk to her about something. And, she doesn't want to have this conversation, but she thinks it's important to have for their relationship going forward. Kenya looks a little blindsided, and she says, you know what, I really don't want to talk about this. Like, this isn't the time or place. I'm feeling great. We had a beautiful trip. I don't want to end it on a negative note. And I'm just like, damn, you can't even talk to your friend about this? At least hear her out and hear what she has to say. So yeah, like Kenya completely shuts Cynthia down. Cynthia's like, okay, fine. All right, we don't have to talk about it. And Cynthia leaves the room. Yeah, their friendship is definitely changed or over at this point, present day. We see Kenya in her confessional saying she has been a good friend to Cynthia and she hasn't seen all the times that she stuck up for her amongst the other ladies. If she's really trying to prove herself to be a good friend to Cynthia, she could have at least did it, in front of her face, or at least give her the time of day to let Cynthia vent to her about what's going on instead of just shutting her down, not wanting to talk about it whatsoever. I mean, communication. Communication is key in any relationship. Now, am I saying that Cynthia has no accountability in this? No, Cynthia, has some accountability as well, but I think she would admit to that, but Kenya wouldn't. The scenes between Teresa and her man are just so cheesy and boring. Is that what we're going to expect in Jersey? I hope not. So now it's later in the evening, it's the last night, the ladies are headed to dinner. Again, there's an awkward moment with the car situation. So Kenya tries to go to a car with, Kyle and Melissa in it, but there's no space, and now she has to go in a car with Cynthia, her friend that she came here with, so she's sitting right next to her, and it's awkward. It really sucks how someone can come on this vacation with their best friend and then leave enemies. So the ladies are all seated, and then Kyle gives a really nice toast saying, she's been loving this experience, meeting the other ladies. Everyone has been so open. And now they're talking about their reactions to when they were asked to come on this show. And they all collectively say the first thing they thought was, who's going? Luann then clarifies saying that she wanted to know who was coming from her franchise, who was going to be her wingman. And then when she found out that it was Ramona, she was like, oh, okay, everyone's laughing. And then she tells her, oh, I bet you probably want to take Sonia, huh? Which I think Sonia would have been so fun on this trip. But Ramona actually says that she's closer to Luann now. Interesting. So then in this moment, Ramona asks Kenya in front of everybody at the table, can she speak to her privately one-on-one? Kenya says sure, and I'm just like, wow, okay, so you accept Ramona to talk to you one-on-one, but you can't even talk to your friend Cynthia, who you've known for a very long time. In the comfort of your own space, away from the other ladies. You can make time for your friend, but you made time for Ramona. Got it. If I was Cynthia in that moment, I definitely would have felt some type of way. So we're with Ramona and Kenya one-on-one. Ramona starting off the conversation. She's so nervous. And then she's, coming up with bullshit excuses saying I didn't mean to trigger you and, I'm sorry I didn't get to know you and it's the last night. She's saying something about Kenya trigger her and she's like, oh, no, it's not nothing to do with you. It's me. Just something about me. It's just how I reacted to you. I don't know. I mean, Kenya really ain't buying it, but Kenya is being very classy on how she's addressing Ramona. Kenya's saying, I appreciate you apologizing and then opening up to me one-on-one, but, it is the last night and what happened, okay? I'm upset with myself on how I butted heads with you. And here Ramona go again, going to the my parents didn't love me excuse, and she's trying to relate with Kenya saying, well, I know your mom, you didn't have a really good relationship with her as well as I didn't either, and then my father, he wasn't there as well. I would be like, save it. I accept your apology, but save it. It's actually funny listening to this conversation because it looks like Ramona and Kenya have a lot in common than they'd like to admit. Like I said 2 videos ago, they are cut from the same cloth. Just one is a little bit more dirtier. So Kenya lets Ramona know that she's not going to hold a grudge against her, and as long as she don't exhibit the same behavior she's been doing, they won't go backwards. But it looks like they're going to leave on a good note. And the 2 villains hug it out. It's funny though how Kenya gets closure with Ramona, but she didn't get closure with Cynthia on this episode. It's very disappointing. So back at the table with the other ladies, Kyle was just asking, did you have any misconceptions of anyone and have they changed or not? And she tells Teresa, oh, you're so sweet and so kind. I'm guessing she thought Teresa was a mega bitch or something like that. And Teresa says, well, it takes a lot to get me angry. And Teresa says something very interesting. She says that she has not enjoyed 1 season on her own franchise. Wow, with Melissa right there in front of her. And of course the camera pans to her for a bit. But she says on this show, this particular franchise, All Stars, she enjoyed it. Wow. I mean, I bet you enjoyed them checks though. So Melissa actually agrees with her and she just goes down the line every season and she's like, yeah, you know what? It does make sense because, you had your bankruptcy, you had the deportation, your divorce, your parents. I'm sure Melissa didn't intend for any of that to come off as shade, but I see the shade in everything. But for Teresa to say she hasn't enjoyed 11 seasons of being on a show that's mostly centered around her, it just says a lot. Like, she has to be lying. So Ramona and Kenya get back to the table. All the ladies are like, oh, they're getting along now. That's good. And then Cynthia, we see her in a confessional, and she says my sentiments. Like, I find it funny that she made time for Ramona, but didn't have time to have a heart-to-heart with me. Poor Cynthia, she just smiling to get through it. So they all cheers at the table, and then they continue this conversation where they're talking about their perceptions of the other ladies. And Ramona says to Teresa, I didn't realize how smart she was. Again, Ramona, just back it up. Just be quiet until the cameras finish rolling. Teresa just laughs it off though. Lord, here go Kenya. I didn't know Melissa was so sexy and so fun. Okay, girl, you're not in the lady pond. Save the full bisexuality. So Luann then leaves the table and looks like she has something planned for the ladies. I think she's about to perform. Like she has the gown, she has like the little money sprayers. Oh my goodness. So she goes back to the table and Money Can't Buy You class is booming from somebody's speakers. The ladies' jaws drop. Of course, Luann's gonna jump at a chance to market this song. This is her tardy for the party. So our ladies get up and start dancing. Luann is going into a full performance. She does not have the employees of the resort behind her like backup dancers with the money guns. Like they're like just random workers on the resort. So it looks like they're ending this with the Money Can't Buy You class, and the ladies are all being asked one by one in their confessional, like what they learned about themselves. What stood out to me was, what Kenya said, how she feels accepted finally and validated. I mean, it's because you're on a show with people that don't know you, and this is a temporary situation. And then you have Teresa saying, that she had a great trip and she was surrounded by good vibes. And she's like, if you push my buttons, then you get another Teresa. So producers failed in that regard of getting anybody to push Teresa's buttons. They need to get somebody else on that show. I'm glad we had a nice Teresa, but I'm disappointed that we didn't see, the real Teresa who like flipped tables over. And then Cynthia, so bittersweet, saying, y'all see the blood on my back? I think Kenya totally backstabbed her, left her out in the cold when she realized that she was Miss Popular on the trip. And Cynthia says she's too old to be around people who don't respect the boundaries of friendship. And then we leave Cynthia with her saying Bailey out, which is now her final appearance on Bravo as a Real Housewife. And you never know, she might come back. It really is sad to see that she was the only one who didn't enjoy her trip to the fullest. I mean, even Ramona left the trip on a good note. Lord, we are with Luann, and then the messy producer asks if she's going to keep in touch with Michael. She says that man has already DM'd her. And then finally they ask Ramona, like, what did you learn about yourself on this trip? She's like, I don't know. Lessons? And hopefully this is her final appearance on Bravo. I hope so. I mean, it's Cynthia's final time. Let's hope it's Ramona's final time too. And also, did they just like impose fireworks or was those real fireworks? Again, this show did not take itself seriously. Then we see all the ladies hugging, and that is where the episode ends, y'all. Now, I enjoyed this experience. I can't wait for season 2 at Dorinda's and all the ex-housewives. I do think that this series plateaued at episode 5 when it was Kenya versus Ramona for a second time. By episode 6, you can feel like the fatigue and they were like, all right, we ready to go. I'll say the MVPs of this show was definitely Kenya and Ramona. Like, they're just so antagonistic. Like, they're both lightning rods. So I get why they clashed. I actually like Kyle's presence too. So I would say 3-way tie for MVP is Kyle, Kenya, and Ramona. And then my most disappointed, I would say, is Teresa. I mean, this was like really a vacation for her. Like, we didn't get any type of drama out of her. Like, we got a little poking from Luann, but it didn't work. So it looks like I'm going to have to look for the real Teresa when the Real Housewives of New Jersey premiere in February. But anywho, I want to know y'all thoughts about this first season. Did y'all like it? Are y'all excited for season 2? Who did y'all love the most? To my Patreon fam, thank you for rolling with me month to month. And if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all for season 2. Bye.